Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my review of the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Series 1 Cursed Spartan, the Stone Warrior. Here he is in the packaging, and as you can see, he is a carded figure. That's his name and his occupation right there. It is an adult collectible, so kids, don't try this at home. Maybe you shouldn't be watching my channel, etc., etc. HACK stands for a highly articulated character kit system. In a nutshell, that basically means that the figure, his accessories, his armor, his body parts even, are all interchangeable with other figures in the HACK's series. I lost my train of thought there. I apologize for that. Here he is inside the package. You can see that there are several accessories that are actually kind of loose in this package. The reason why is because I have 3 of these guys, and in order to make a display a couple years ago, I opened them all, and as you can see, I did not put them back properly, which is another reason why collector-friendly packaging is both a blessing and a curse. It enabled me to not only store my figures back in the package in which they are the safest, but it also gives the illusion that he's a new figure when he is not. So you have to be very careful with collector-friendly packaging, and he is in collector-friendly packaging. As you can see, this has already been bent up. I've already removed the figure and so on and so forth. Excuse me. Anyway, he's got very good card art. The figure looks pretty impressive in the bubble. Let's flip it around. As you can see, he comes with a file card, and as I've said in all my other videos, file card is roughly the same size as G.I. Joe file cards. I'm a big fan of the fact that they include this. If you would like to read it, feel free to pause the video and do so now. Again, I'm a huge fan of the fact that they include this. It really helps to flesh out the characters, give them a lot more depth, and give the whole line a much more personal feel. And I think this is excellent. He is a Wave 1 character, and you'll see that this is the very first time I think I've featured this QR code that didn't actually say Boss Fight Store on the top, or download the Boss Fight app, or whatever the newer figures say. But if you would like to use the QR code to go to the store, feel free to do so now. Here are other characters that were available in the first 4 waves of Series 1, which was an ancient Greek-themed series of figures. I have a few of these. I don't have all of them. I do have a few, and I will be reviewing the ones that I have. Some of them are still available in the store. Some of them have sold out long ago. You're welcome to try your luck. I'm not sure about this guy. But he is worth army building, especially if you have a Medusa, because you're going to need stone warriors for her. But anyway, let us open him up to see what he's all about. We're going to bend that up, slide the card out, and remove the figures tray. Put the box off to the side. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that his figure stand and his extra set of hands were to have been in a plastic bag taped to the underside of the bubble, but I did not put them back in a bubble. I didn't even have the hands with the figure. I actually had to go to my spare parts bin and grab them for the sake of the review. But again, can't say it enough. Before you purchase these things, because they're in collector-friendly packaging, you have to make sure all the stuff is there. He comes with a spear, which is just in a flat gray plastic. It's the standard Spartan spear. He comes with a Gorgon Shield with a very impressive sculpt of Medusa on it. An impressive molding on the bottom. I don't think I've mentioned this about these shields yet. I know I mentioned it with the fantasy line of shields, but if you look, these notches, they have holes in them. And the reason for that is so that you can run a string through there so that he actually has the capability of wearing this on his back if you so choose. So I thought that was a nice touch. He also has a sword. He has a helmet. And here is the figure himself. If I can to get him out of the bubble without crushing it. There we are. Now, as you can see, there's no paint on the figure at all. He's just a flat gray. As a matter of fact, the only bit of paint on him is right there, and I don't even think it belonged to him. I think it came off of a different figure. He's got a little bit of a dark texture to his armor pieces and his body even there, I guess, to give it a little bit more definition. So I guess he does have some paint apps. I just never noticed before. He's essentially supposed to be made of stone, so he's not going to be very colorful. Here he is with his helmet on. As you can see, it fit nicely. He holds his sword. You gotta bend his fingers out a little bit. You can't just cram it in there. But he holds his sword nicely. Spear. You can hold that as well. Bend his fingers out a little bit. Oh, I just ripped his hand off. Not to worry, it's the hack system. It's meant to do that. Gotta be careful when you bend his fingers out, though, because he will show stress marks. Holds his spear, nice. Shield. Shield is a little tricky to get in there. I always fold these out. You really want to be careful doing that because it will show stress. Actually getting his hand around that small loop is a little easier said than done. It is possible though. I just don't feel like fighting with it on camera here. I'm trying to keep the videos relatively short, but it will hold snugly in there. If you can get his hand around that arm or around that bar and then slide it back into his wrist, he will hold his shield very securely. I just don't have the time to demonstrate it here. Let's do his articulation. Get this out of your hand. All right. So he's got the standard articulation for a boss fight figure. His head is on a barbell joint, which allows him to look down, up. He can rock from side to side, do a full 360, and actually move his head forward and back a tiny bit. His arms, ball joint, which can do a full 360. They can go up about that far, not hindered by his armor at all. There is nothing at his bicep. His elbows can bend about 90 degrees up and a decent amount down. He can do a full 360. His wrists are on a peg, which can bend or rotate 360 degrees. This particular set of hands bends up and down, and his extra set of hands will bend in and out, as you can see. He does have an ab crunch, but it is entirely hindered by his armor. If you try to do it, these seams will pop open. They can be put back together, but it is kind of a pain. And I like the fact that he has his armor sealed, which is easier said than done with these figures. I don't like to mess with the armor when I can help it. It does come off. You can swap the armor out. You can put new armor on him. But getting it sealed like that is easier said than done. So I'm going to try to avoid doing it. He also has a waist too, but it's part of his construction. His legs can go out about that far by using the slit in his armor skirt there. He's got nothing at the thigh. He can do the can about like that, but he is hindered by his armor. If you bend it up, you can get a little bit more out of it. His knees are double jointed, so he can get his heel back about that far. His ankles are on a peg, rotate 360 degrees. They can also bend back. Mine's a little stiff on this one. Loosen it up a little bit, because I know I can get more out of it than that. There we go. They can go back about that far and forward about that far. And that's about it for his articulation. Again, very good articulation on these figures, but sometimes the outfit they're wearing hinders them a little bit. He's a very cool figure, whether you want to think of him as an actual soldier who's still animated and made of stone, or a guy who's frozen in place. I think he's perfect. For size comparison, here he is next to a modern G.I. Joe. He is noticeably taller. And here he is next to a vintage G.I. Joe. And again, he is noticeably taller. He's slightly over 4 inches. So he definitely fits in more with the modern scale of figures than the vintage ones. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this guy. He doesn't have a lot going on as far as paint is concerned, or a ton of accessories, but then again, he doesn't need them. Either one of those. He's a stone warrior, and he certainly looks the part. This has been AV. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.